Hey, this is Matt once again with about to another video, and this is a paid request for Bronson. Thank you so much for that. For those interested requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. I do have a Cash App as well. Links are down below, and I'll get to it as soon as I possibly can. Thank you for that. And this is for a re-review of the Sandlot. It actually makes sense because the review I had eventually got blocked because I put the trailer in the corner, which other people can do and use footage, but then months later it got blocked by some. So hey, meaning to talk about this film again, and Bronson gave me the opportunity, so thank you so much for that. Because The Sandlot is a fun movie. It's not a film I watched a whole lot growing up compared to other people, but I've seen it a couple times throughout the years, and I definitely see the appeal. Because it has a great heartfelt charm to it, and the characters are very likable. Now, sadly, a lot of them don't have a lot of depth in terms of we don't get to know a whole lot of them too much. And that part of me kind of wish some of these characters we got to learn a bit more about them. But again, there's so many characters, and there's only so much time you have, so that'd be impossible to do. But it's directed by David Mickey Evans. This is definitely his best film because he would go on to do Beethoven 3, Beethoven 4, Ace Ventura Jr., and I'm sitting there going, dude, you like road directed this? What happened with those movies? Also, apparently this has 2 sequels. I don't think I ever saw the sequels, or if I did, I don't remember a damn thing about them. So, now, the film, it takes place in 1962 and is about this kid, Smalls, who has moved with his family there. He is new to school, so he doesn't have any friends, and eventually meets this group of kids playing baseball at the Sandlot. And they don't really worry about they just like playing the game. They love baseball. Now, for me, I don't really give a shit about baseball. If there's a sport I care about, it's basketball. Football, I don't mind either. I don't know jack shit. Like, if you quiz me on anything football or even basketball, I wouldn't know. But I don't mind the sport. But basketball more so. Again, I'm not knowledgeable on squat about it in terms of who's on this team and stats. I don't know jack shit. I just know that if I get a chance to watch it, which is rarely nowadays, it's fun to watch. I'll put it that way. But there are movies with baseball that I enjoy, that baseball's a part of it. Field of Dreams, Major League. Major League 1 is probably my favorite, quote, baseball movie. But I mean, this should easily be considered one of the best baseball movies because it really does show that the person behind it has a love, a care, a respect for the sport of baseball, and just how these kids just live and breathe baseball. Like, you can tell this is in the hands of someone that is definitely palatable, their love and care for that sport. And this older kid, Benny, who's kind of the star player, the one the others kind of not worship, but they a little bit in awe of. He's easily the best player. He knows how to steal bases, all that stuff. This guy, Benny, brings Smalls in, introduces him to the group. And while our lead kid is awkward at first, and he knows as much about baseball as I do, he's welcomed in with the help of their leader, Benny. And then a good chunk of the film is kind of, not really a plot, but the plot kind of happens the beginning of the third act, but it's more just the summer where there's just these different events happen, and you see how they interact with each other, and that's the fun, that's the charm of it. And who they got for the kids did a wonderful job. Whether it be the kid with the glasses, nicknamed Squints, whether it be, I want to say his name is Patrick Renna. He's a guy who plays Hamilton, nicknamed Ham, and he's the catcher for the team. I want to make sure I did his name right. I think it is Patrick Renna. Yeah, as Hamilton Porter. He's a guy I do recognize in a variety of movies. I think one was The Big Green. He was on this episode of The X-Files called Bad Blood, which had Luke Wilson, which was a bit more of like a comedic X-Files episode. His look, I thought one of the better characters. He has some funny line. He has the most memorable line in the movie. "You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me." Even there are people who probably say that had never even seen this damn movie. But it's a great delivery that he gives. "You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me." And another kid, which I keep forgetting he's in this, Brandon Adams. Brandon Adams, who was Fool in The People Under the Stairs, which I love that movie. He's in this as one of the group. What's interesting is this came out in 1993. Around the same year, you had this film called Ghost in the Machine, which I don't mind for what it is. 3 people in that film or in this film. Brandon Adams, which I mentioned. There's this kid who's with this other team. It's like they're rivals, and they play, and our lead team, beat that team. The leader of that team is Will Horneff. He played the son character in Ghost of the Machine, the son of Karen Allen, who's in this film as the mom of our lead kid. So this is weird thing how those 3 were in both. I don't know. It's weird that you have the same year 2 movies and you have 3 actors in both movies. Bigger deal that I'm sure. It's not as big of a deal I'm sure it made it out to be, but just something that was funny to notice. And speaking of Karen Allen, always great to see her in a movie. Love Karen Allen. If I did a list of my top 10 favorite actresses, she would be in the list. Anytime I see her, she has this sweet, motherly nature to her. Love her as Marion in Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's one of the reasons why I really do like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I wouldn't say I love it, but I do really like and think it's very underrated, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Because I love seeing Marion there. I love that Karen Allen and Indy got their happy ending. Then they made Indiana Jones 5, which fucking blows chunks. Starman. Just always great to see her in a movie. Love Karen Allen. Scrooged. Very underrated actress. But sadly, very underutilized in this. She's barely in the film. She pops up 2 or 3 times at the beginning, once or twice in the middle, and then once or so at the end. I thought she could have been. I don't know if she had more stuff that was cut out, or that's just what the role was, but I wish Karen Allen was in the film a lot more. And then also, the lead kid's stepdad is Dennis Leary, which I don't mind Dennis Leary. I liked him in Demolition Man, The Ref. There's this film called Gunman with Christopher Lambert and Mario Van Peebles. I liked him in that. It was cool to see him in here. Playing a very different role. Usually he's kind of the more gruff guy or more cursing, energetic. Here he's just It's funny with his casting, you keep thinking any minute now he's going to be like this abusive stepdad or this angry stepdad or this stepdad that the lead kid hates. But no, he's just playing a nice guy who's busy at work. Helps the kid a little bit on how to play catch with the ball. So definitely a different type of casting. But he doesn't have a whole lot to do. So even he could have been utilized a bit more as well. And this film has a lot of memorable parts to it that people who saw it back to the day will be very nostalgic for. Even me, as a guy that hasn't seen as much as them, I still remember the line, "You're killing me, Smalls, you're killing me." I always remember where they play, there's a fence. If the ball goes over there, the rest go, that ball's gone forever. Our lead kid, being new to the place, going, well, let's just go over and get it. You can't. There's something over there. What? It's the beast. What's the beast? And later, the kid with the glasses squints, he tells a story about this big junkyard dog, and he was gigantic, and he did his job too well, so he was put away from the junkyard and chained to this, and he's got to be there forever. 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 That way of saying that line, I still remember to this day. And once in a blue moon, I'll even say that. Like, if the word pops up, sometimes, like, I want to say, like, forever. Again, very memorable. As simple as it is, just the way the kid delivered it, the way it's repeated, the emphasis, just was, I thought, pretty funny. Other scenes throughout the film, there's a bit with the pool where the little kid Squints has the hots for the lifeguard, Wendy. And so he dives in the deep end of the pool so he could get a kiss. She shoves him out. But when he goes back, she kind of has his little smile on her face. It's a bit weird. Spoilers for a film from 1993. Spoilers here on out. Should have said that earlier. That you find out that later they got married. Because at this point, just the age difference is pretty big. But I mean, I guess it is what it is. Another fun moment, I mentioned the rivals. That rival team comes by and they start insulting each other. And the big insult is Patrick Renna actually telling them, "You play ball like a girl." And just how horrified everybody looks, including the other kid, Will Horniff, like, "What do you say?" And Patrick Renna was probably my favorite character in the movie. The guy who's the catcher, got the freckles on his, because his lines were memorable. "You kill me, Smalls," and "you play ball like a girl," like those two alone. And then when he's a catcher, like the insults he would say were pretty funny to get them to miss and strike out. Like he's catching and he's talking about how, "Hey, is that your sister in left field? She naked?" "She's naked." And the kid's like, "Shut up!" "Is that her naked, sis?" "Yeah, I think she's naked." Just the way he, like, bugs the fuck out of these people, that was pretty hilarious. I thought that was pretty funny. And he said you really get a sense of these kids being friends with each other. And like I said, you don't really get to know a whole lot of detail of the other kids, their families, or if they have brothers and sisters. Well, the one kid does, because it's two brothers. But I mean, like, the home life. But I guess, again, if you try to do that, there's so many characters in there, it would get a bit complicated, convoluted, and make the running time a lot more stretched out. So it's more about just how they are on the field as a group, as a team. And again, there's so many kids that some of them are not going to have as much. Like Brandon Adams, he's the pitcher, and he keeps saying, "Here comes the heater." But I mean, there's not a whole lot you say about Brandon Adams' character other than that. So again, because there's so many characters, like there's not a whole lot of time for them to get a whole lot of detail for their characters. And it's most, our lead kid, of course you do, because he's the lead. And I thought he did a good job. I'm bad with names, so I'm trying to think of his name. I'll look it up. Just I want to give him credit, because I thought he did a good job. He felt natural. His delivery of dialogue was natural. You really bought him as the new kid in town who's oblivious to things. Tom Guiry, Guiry. I'm not sure. Guiry, which I guess he would actually go on to be in U571, Black Hawk Down, Mystic River, The Revenant. Oh, he was in that film The Unforgivable, which I liked, with Sandra Bullock. And then there was a narrator voice. That was actually from the director, David Mickey Evans. And then you do get to see him as an adult, and as Arliss Howard, which he was in Full Metal Jacket. Wasn't he... Yeah, Cowboy. They were the guys that gets fucked up by the sniper in Full Metal Jacket. Arliss Howard. But you only see him at the very, very end of the film. So it's interesting that he's narrating, that they don't use, like, the director used his voice to narrate it, not that actor. So that was a bit weird. But anyway, yeah, that kid did a good job. The kid who played Benny did well. Again, all the kids did well. They felt natural in their interactions with each other. Like I say, it's not really a plot until the third act, where they are playing ball. Benny fucks up a ball. The lead, Smalls, I got a ball, takes his stepdad's ball, which is signed by Babe Ruth. But again, he's not knowledgeable in baseball, so he doesn't know who that is. He hits a home run. We gotta get it back. Oh, some lady signed it for him. What? Baby Ruth? Babe Ruth! And then it's various ways they try to get the ball back. Which is fun in a slapstick level. Whether lowering a kid down, or having this device to try to suck it up, and all this other stuff. I always thought it was a funny reveal when the kids are escaping. There's this little, I just call it explosion, and the one kid comes out slowly with dust on him, and just like he doesn't say anything, just, yeah, we're going about this all wrong. I think just how subtle he said it, like, for some reason that made me laugh. I don't know why. I also like the idea that the dog, because their imagination is running wild, the movie will show it as this giant Godzilla type of dog, just from the viewpoint of the kids and how they view it as this beast. But then when you see the actual dog, it's just a regular dog. And then, after this chase scene, Smalls and Benny help the dog, and the dog is licking. And he's just, a dog that needed some companion, some love. And then they go over, and the guy who owns the property is actually James Earl Jones. Rest in peace to James Earl Jones. One of the great actors, one of the greatest voices in movies, from Darth Vader to The Lion King, Mufasa, the real fucking Mufasa, not that bullshit fucking prequel shit. And you find out that he's blind, but he used to be a baseball player, and here's a ball with everybody signed. And then it ends with you hear about what happened to the other kids. Our lead kid became a sports commentator. Benny became a player for the LA Dodgers. He's commenting on a win where Benny steals base, and they're thumbing each other up, which I thought was kind of a sweet way to end the film. It was in a weird way. It was kind of this sweet thing where, and by the way, if you're wondering, family's over, so they're chatting. You're wondering who's that? It's no one broke into my home. It's family over. They're chatting and stuff. For lunch, we're gonna have some lunch after this. But yeah, they as dumb as it sounds, it's nice to see that these two stayed friends for all this time. Just something endearing about that. As weird as that sounds. So yeah, as it is, I thought this was a still pretty good movie. It still holds up. It still has that charm and magic that people liked when they saw it back to the day. I think just the way the kids are and the way they interact with each other, there was not a lot of the only gross out humor I would say is the bit where they take chewing tobacco, they try it out, then they're on a ride, and you see a little bit of barf, a little bit of that. But I thought it was done. You see a little bit, but it wasn't overdone to a cartoonish level. And I mean, is it a scene I love? No. This is not my kind of humor. But I mean, it wasn't overbearingly stretched out and oh, this scene's too long. At least it didn't do that. The music, I want to give credit to the score. The score, I think, fit the film very well. Has this light-hearted, I don't know when to say whimsical, but has this nature to it that plays to the jovialness these kids have and their love for the game. Is David Newman. I want to give credit to him because he didn't do a whole lot of scores, but Critters, I love that movie. That's a good score. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, I mean, the soundtrack's good, but the score is actually very fitting for that film. So I'll let David Newman do a good job. Oh, before, there's a bit where Benny sees, because they haven't gotten the ball yet, so he's visited by the Babe Ruth, and it's Art LaFleur, which, for those, sadly, he's passed away. Art LaFleur was a good character actor. He was in the Blob remake, if you ever seen that film, and Shawnee Smith's dad, who owns the store and sees that these kids bought condoms, one of them ribbed. So when but he bought it and blamed it on the other guy, and the other guy's going on with Shawnee Smith. So when Shawnee Smith shows her boyfriend to the dad, he looks up and goes, ribbed. So he was fun as the dad. He was, and the dad in that he was fun. He was in, I think, some of the Transfers films. He was in Air America with Mel Gibson. He had done a few films throughout the years. Always very capable character actor. Sadly, he passed away. Actually, I'm curious, when did he pass away? But he fit well as the Babe, and I liked his line at the end of that. Heroes get remembered, but legends never die. Which I know might be a typical line, but I thought, it worked. And I thought he delivered it very well. Parkinson's disease, wow, I didn't know. It was 2021. Damn, I didn't know he had Parkinson's. Damn, that's too bad. He was also in Field of Dreams. I'm kind of curious what else he was in. Okay, it won't show me his filmography. Anyway, I could look this up. He was in... Oh yeah, he was in the Army Now with Pauly Shore. He was in that. Death Warrant. That's right. He was in Death Warrant. He was the evil guard. He did a good job in that one. Cobra. How could I forget Cobra? Get the Cobra. Do what you do best. How the fuck could I forget that? I'm glad I looked it up because I would have punch myself in the nuts forgetting about that. Of course, Cobra, one of my fucking favorites. Get the Cobra. So I always love Art LaFleur. And just a sweet-natured movie that has a fun sense of humor that is quite quaint compared to stuff nowadays. And memorable lines. Like I said, I don't know how you would do it, but what would be nice is have some of the kids have a bit more to do. But I don't know how you do that without making it a longer film. Karen Allen, I wish had more to do. Even Dennis Leary a bit more. But other than that, very good film. Still works today. Like I said, I don't think I ever saw the sequels, but I've heard they suck. So maybe that's for a reason. And if I did review them, like you did review them, then obviously I don't remember them. But yeah, there's the Sandlot 2 and the Sandlot Heading Home. So, there you go. But with that said, thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye for now.